Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another third stimulus check unemployment benefits extension update, or I guess you can even say in today's video, a child tax credit update, because in today's update, I really want to just talk about the $3,000/$3,600 child tax credit that we kind of have briefly mentioned, but we haven't actually made it a full official video to really explore it yet. So you can even say that today's video is really just dedicated to anyone that either has a child of some kind, or if you happen to know someone that has a child and maybe you can share this with them, or maybe if you happen to be the child yourself, and you can maybe feel free to share this with your parents to kind of try to get an extra $3,600 inside of your pocket depending on your age, or honestly if you just happen to be interested. So we're going to get started right away. Today's video is really just going to be exploring this program finally in its official details, such as about how it works, how much it is, who qualifies, how to physically get on it, and pretty much everything that's related and important about this. So we're going to get started right away, but before we begin, make sure you smash the like button, especially now that, again, we do have an approval, and after all, this is potentially more money that's going to be coming into your pockets. Consider and feel free to subscribe if you guys are interested in very, very similar videos and other finance topics. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, thoughts about honestly just really anything at all. If I do overlook your comment, as always, feel free to just comment it again in any kind of recent video. So with that being said, let's get started. So the current child tax program is pretty much as the name suggests. It's just basically a program that's supposed to give a certain amount of money to anyone that happens to have a child that's under the age of 18. I found this graph, which pretty much should show the general dollar amount of how much you guys can receive. Now this graph is specifically for anyone that happens to be a married couple. So it's a little bit different if you happen to be a single filer, and we're going to touch up on that in a little bit. But the general idea is that the yellow line really just represents what the current child tax credit looks like. So basically the current program is supposed to give, and you might probably even already be on this program, but it's supposed to basically put about $2,000 inside of your pocket. The great news is that thanks to the third stimulus package, they have now officially upgraded the program now. So if you happen to have a child in this new program, the dollar amount is that if you happen to have a child that's under the age of 6, so basically anything from being a newborn child to basically up to 5 years old, you would be able to get up to $3,600. Now, if you happen to be someone who has a child between the ages of 6 and 17, you would be able to get $3,000 per child that you currently have. Now, this dollar amount is pretty much the same exact dollar amount if you happen to have a child, regardless of how you file, whether you file as a single parent or if you happen to file as an entire, two-person family, so joint parents, married couple filers. The only difference is really about the income requirement. If you happen to be a single filer, the maximum income is that you can only qualify for this if you make up to $75,000. So you have to be making up to $75,000 or less to be able to get it as a single filer, or $150,000 or less if you are filing as a married couple. But the general idea is that $3,000 it's a lot of money. And I mean, in terms of how much you can potentially expect to receive if you include every single stimulus program that's pretty much out there for families, you can actually potentially, if you happen to be a family of 4, receive basically around almost $11,000 purely just off of stimulus checks and stimulus package programs. Because if you happen to be a family of 4, how that really comes up is that you would get $1,400 per child or per person inside of your family, so including the adults. $1,400 times 4 is $5,600, and if you happen to have 2 kids that are between the ages of 6 and 17, so even more if you happen to have kids that are under 6, but let's say if you happen to have 2 kids that are between the ages of 6 to 17, you would get $3,000 per child, so $6,000 in total for that. So including the stimulus checks, you would be able to get $5,600 plus $6,000, granting a total of basically around $11,600 purely in stimulus checks / stimulus programs with this child tax credit. Now, in terms of how to actually specifically get onto this program and how the actual delivery is going to work, it's pretty much going to come when you guys file your taxes, because this, after all, at the end of the day, is related to your tax credit. But it's supposed to be a program that's going to be starting this summer. I believe the start date is that they're hoping to try to start it right around July. So July of this year, July 2021, and it's pretty much going to be paid in monthly increments over a 1-year time period. So the general idea is that you would basically get a monthly deposit of a certain amount of money. I believe that they're hoping to send out half of that amount this year, and then the other half of the amount next year. So you would basically, when you break up and do the math, is that you would basically take half of that amount. So let's say $3,000 per child. You'll break it in half, so $1,500. So you'd basically be able to get monthly increment payment all the way up to about $1,500 this year, then another $1,500 next year as a tax refund. So basically totaling about $3,000 or $3,600, depending on the age of your child, per child. Now, this article outlines a lot of the other details as well, but this program and all of the money here, I know it's relatively self-explanatory, but some people were still wondering, so just to be able to confirm is that all of the money from this program is up for keeps. So you can pretty much keep all of it, which is the really, really nice, great news. Now, this program is going to be based off of your most recent tax return. So between 2019 or 2020, it's exactly like the stimulus checks, pretty much whichever tax return that they have as the most recent on file, that's pretty much the one that they're going to use for calculating whether or not you're qualified. Now, another great news about this is that this program also interestingly applies to even people that live in U.S. territory, so essentially like Puerto Rico. So if you happen to maybe live kind of like I guess you can say like outside of the United States, but you happen to be in a territory that the United States, so basically Puerto Rico is the most common example, you can also potentially get this as well. And then I think beyond this, that's pretty much how the child tax credit works in terms of the dollar amount, who qualifies, how to physically get it, how the actual delivery system is going to work, and who it basically applies to. Now, I do think one thing that is really, really nice is that this program, even though it lasts for 1 year, there are a lot of talks right now that Biden is possibly thinking about trying to do some kind of tax credit even beyond this, to maybe even take it even longer or even include the dollar amount. But the idea is that we at least have something to work with for the next 1 year, which is really, really nice. If you guys are interested in potential updates, I don't think it's going to be in the near future, but if they do end up trying to create another further program, maybe consider subscribing and we can hopefully try to share that if something does come up. Again, I don't think it's going to be in the near future, but it is something that they're definitely having talks about, definitely at least behind the scenes, if anything. But beyond this, that's what I really just wanted to cover in today's update. So hopefully you guys found this relatively enjoyable. If you happen to be a parent or a child, and you can potentially maybe send this to your parent, and then maybe your parents will give you a part of that to buy toys or something like that, or anything honestly as just maybe a gift, or if you just happen to be interested. Remember to smash the like button if you guys hopefully found something insightful about that. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, thoughts about honestly just really anything at all. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well. If you guys are watching this on release date, have an incredible, safe, warm weekend, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.